So welcome to the circle today. It's great that you've had a chance to be with us. It's a kind of a windy March day outside, lots of blowing wind, which is just lovely to see. And we're moving along in our calendar through the season of Lent. And this is moving now to the fourth Sunday in the season of Lent, getting closer to the mystery of Easter. Can you see it there? I got it a little bit closer for you so you can see. So I don't know if you can see how many weeks we have left in Lent. Right. So it's time to start with our candle, our Christ candle. There was once someone who said such amazing things and did such wonderful things that people began to follow him. And as they followed him, they wondered who he was. And they couldn't help themselves. They just had to ask. And one of the times when they asked, he said, "I am the light." Let's enjoy the light. I see the light of God in you, the light of Christ come shining through, and I am blessed to be with you, O holy child of God. So much light, so much love. But it didn't stay in that one place and in that one time. He changed the light so it can be in all places and in all times. So it could be with us in our Godly Place circle today and can go with you wherever you go this week. Watch as I change the light. Ooh. See it coming up through the changed and spreading everywhere. Ready for a story? Well, we're in the season of Lent, the time of the color purple. We're preparing for the coming of the King and his going and his coming again. In the beginning was a baby. God chose Mary to be the mother of God. And a child was born, a wordless child. When the baby looked up into the face of the Mother Mary, he could already see the cross. And the cross was there in the face of the Father Joseph too. Mother Mary and the Father Joseph kept the baby close. They kept him warm and they gave him everything the baby needed to grow. And the baby grew. And Jesus became a boy. And when he was about 12 years old, he and his family, and a lot of people from the town of Nazareth where he lived, went to Jerusalem to celebrate one of the great high holidays. And when the holiday was finished, people went back out through the great high gate from Jerusalem. And when they'd gone a little while, Mary and Joseph realized that Jesus was nowhere to be found. They thought that he'd been with the village children playing as they were moving, but he was not there. They hurried back to the city of Jerusalem. They looked in the dark and silent streets. They looked in the place where they bought food for the journey. They looked in the place where they'd stayed while they were in Jerusalem, but he was nowhere to be found. They looked for 3 days and 3 nights. And finally, they found Jesus in the temple. And he was talking to the priests and the rabbis. And they were listening because he knew so much. And Jesus was listening to the rabbis because he wanted to learn more. Mary and Joseph asked Jesus, "Why did you do this?" Jesus answered, "Didn't you know I would be in my Father's house?" Mary and Joseph didn't understand. Joseph's carpenter shop was far away in the city of Nazareth. They didn't understand, but they didn't forget. And the boy grew up, and Jesus became a man. And when Jesus was about 30 years old, he went down to the River Jordan where his cousin John was baptizing people. You can see just the back of John's head here and his hair sticking out all over. John was a wild man. Jesus waded into the water until he was face to face with John and said, "Baptize me." Well, John looked at Jesus as if for the first time and said, "You are the Messiah, the one we've been waiting for. I can't baptize you, you baptize me." But Jesus said, "No, it is written that you will come before me to prepare the way. Baptize me." Jesus went down into the darkness and chaos of the river. And as John lifted him back up, people who were there that day said they saw a dove coming down from heaven and coming very close to Jesus's head. And other people who were there that day said they heard a voice saying, "This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased." After he was baptized, Jesus walked across the Jordan River and into the desert. He wanted to find more about who he was and what his work was going to be. Jesus stayed in the desert for 40 days and 40 nights. There was very little to eat or drink. And then one day he heard a voice. It said, "Why don't you take some of those stones over there and turn them into bread and have something to eat?" But Jesus said, "No, to be a real human being, we need more than just bread." And then it was as if Jesus had been taken to the top of the temple in Jerusalem. The voice came back. "If you are really the Son of God, jump and see if God will send the angels to catch you before you hit the stones below." But Jesus said, "No, we don't need to test God." And then it was as if Jesus could see all the kingdoms of the world spread out before him. And the voice came back, "If you follow me, I will make you king over all these kingdoms." Jesus said, "No, I am a king, but not that kind of king." And then the voice went away. Jesus left the desert and went back across the River Jordan and began to do his work. But what was his work? Jesus's work was to get very close to people, especially people that no one else wanted to get close to. Can you see how close Jesus is coming to this blind person? Jesus has his hands on his face and his fingers over his eyes. When Jesus came close to people, they changed. They could see things that they couldn't see before. They could do things that they had never been able to do before. They became well. In his work, Jesus also told parables. And then he knew that he had to become a parable. And so he turned his face toward Jerusalem for the last time. So I wonder what part of this story you like best. And I wonder where you are in the story this week. So many parts. And I wonder if there's anything at your house that you could bring to tell more about this story. I wonder who you could show, what you could bring. And I'm wondering if anyone in your family has wondered about who they were or what their work was going to be. I wonder who you could ask. How do people choose their work? I wonder. And I wonder if anyone has come so close to God that they can see things that they weren't able to see before, or do things that they weren't able to do before, or be changed in some way. As those stories. That your family, my family, our family is part of this story. Thanks be to God. So now the blessing. May the Lord bless you and watch over you. May the Lord make his face shine on you and be gracious to you. May the Lord look kindly on you and give you peace. Have a great week. Take care. Bye.